You mentioned a bit, just before we move into another segment, Leon, you mentioned a bit Nelson Mandela, and he seemed to have a positive view of his economic reform, how he handled the economy back in the 90s. My view has been that he pursued pro-market reforms, and he was really pushing for sense back then, given the circumstances. But how do you see his economic, legacy? Because we've had people who say, well, he was a communist, he ran the country in a communist way, whereas in my observation, that was not the case on how he ran South Africa.
No, that's just nonsense. People who say that simply have no idea either what communism is or who Mandela was and what his policies were. He was he said when he was released, you might recall, that he would support privatization because it is ANC policy and he's a loyal member. In other words, he was very careful not to say that it was his opinion. And even Govan Mbeki, Thabo Mbeki's President Mbeki's father, who was a communist, he also said the ANC is actually not communist, it's a mixed economy. And although he's a communist, he's also a loyal follower of the ANC's mixed economy policies. Yeah. Now, Mandela very soon became pro-free market, and he used the term. He said, we need a free market. Yeah. He spent a lot of time, by the way, communicating with me about economic policy personally. And Winnie Mandela, at the time when they were still together, wrote a foreword for South Africa, the solution. I think the one you have in your hands there has her foreword in it. Mm-hmm. And there, both of them were completely supporting free market policies. And what happened, just to give you one example, under apartheid, there were all these government monopolies, SA Airways, broadcasting, railways, transport, and these control boards. All agricultural products had to be marketed through a government-controlled monopoly. And one of the things that happened under him with 1 or 2 years, all the control boards were abolished. Agriculture was liberated, so that peasant farmers were now free to sell their produce. Commercial farmers were free to sell their produce. South African agriculture became immediately extremely productive. We developed big agricultural export markets, and the attractiveness of agriculture, which gets people now who want to expropriate land without compensation. Why do they want it? Because they think that anyone who has the land will run such a good farm. No, they won't. They will run it only provided there is freedom of agriculture.